Now that I've carved out the parts on my block that I want to keep white, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to pull your first set of prints. So before you pull the prints, you're going to grab the paper that you plan on printing on. So I grabbed 2 sheets of just plain white paper and I put my name on both. Whenever you're doing printmaking, you're usually doing multiples, so you want to be able to keep track of them with your name and then which set of prints it is. So I'm going to flip this over to the front. And we're gonna start with our lightest color, because usually you wanna work light to dark. If I started with black, that's gonna be really hard to cover up black. So I'm gonna start with yellow. All I'm gonna do is take my brayer and start to roll in the ink. Something I wanted to mention too was if you feel like you're running out of ink, I'll have the ink over there. But when you go to refill, you do not need a lot of ink, probably like that much. And that's about the size of a nickel. So I'm just gonna spread that out. Okay. And then use my brayer, which is this, to roll out the ink. And you don't need to roll it over the whole styrofoam plate because the styrofoam is gonna soak up that ink. We just kind of wanna keep it in this nice center spot. Okay. Because if you use too much ink, 1, we're wasting it and it's really expensive. And then 2, it's going to ruin your print because all the ink will get in the cracks that you've carved out and it won't turn out the way that you envisioned. So just a little bit of ink is perfect. And I'm rolling this way and then sideways, long ways, sideways. And you want to keep doing that until you hear this sound. That's the sound you want to hear, and that's when you know you're ready to put the ink onto your block. So even when I'm rolling the ink on my block, I want to go up and down and side to side. You want to make sure you're getting a nice, smooth, even coverage. Okay. When you go to do your print, you're going to put the top at the top of your paper and the bottom at the bottom of your paper. You want to make sure that your bottom lines up. If you do end up dropping your block like I just did, don't panic. Just pick it up, line it back up, and set it down. So once the block is set down on the paper, you can't move it, okay? Because the ink's already transferred to the paper. But what I'm gonna actually do is very carefully pick this up together and apply pressure from the back. So you're just taking your hands and I'm not really pushing. It's not like you're doing CPR. You're just gently spreading pressure across the back of this paper, just to make sure that the ink is really staying on that paper. You want to make sure that you get all 4 corners. And then I'm going to do a sneak peek. So that's where you lift. And if you guys can see all those little white dots, that means I need to push a little bit harder there. That's called static. Static's okay, but if you want your print to be solid, you just want to make sure that you're getting rid of that static. I'm going to peek one more time. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to peel this, the best part, and there you go. So right now it doesn't look like much, but once we start to apply the next layer, you're really going to start to see my logo come to life.